Today's guest is someone who lives at the intersection of creativity, consciousness. Their work weaves together art, music, and storytelling with a deep curiosity about human experience and transformation. This is someone who doesn't see creativity as a hobby or as a profession alone, but as a way of life, a lens through which to understand ourselves and the world around us. I'm really looking forward to our conversation. Hi, Albin. Welcome to In the Loop. So, Albin, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I'm really happy to have you on the show and talk to you about all the cool things you've been up to. So, what is Albin up to right now at this moment?
Right now, I just launched my Kickstarter, this crowdfunding platform for my new fantasy book, and it's the second book that I'm publishing, and it's about two teenagers in a crystal mine full of crystalline life, some ancient machines, magic, fantasy sci. So
Wow,
that's one thing, and then I have some songs that I'm taking one at a time. The comments to produce towards my.
that is so exciting. You know, like you are doing all these creative projects, and what kind of inspires you to come to it that hey, I'm gonna write a book or I want to write a few songs? Like, how does that come about? What's the process like?
Yeah, it's very different for all of it, but all of it started when I was around 7 or 8 or something, because then I had this dream that I want to do music and I want to write books, and I was listening to a lot of music and reading a lot of good books. And then it took quite a long time until I remembered that dream. I totally forgot about it in school and everything. It was when I was 30, it kind of hit me in a very special way, that that's what I want to do with my life. How can I even forget such a thing? It's crazy. Like, how can you forget the most important thing that you wanted to do here on? You just go through life and you just be like, oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing. Yeah. So
So
then I
that what
remember
were you these 30 years?
I was doing other things. I was studying physics at the university. I got burned out, which led me to meditation and yoga when I was 20. Then I traveled to the South America for the first time, which led me to other types of experiences and connections that, yeah, put me on a different track. Then I started studying psychology. I had a mindfulness business for several. I did a long, like, peace walk, I called it, like a pilgrimage on foot through Europe for a year. Uh, that's what I was doing.
So do you think like this was the journey of peeling off the layers that the last 30 years or before you actually came to the realization of that you what you really wanted to do?
Yes, 100%. I look on my life a little bit like I started doing yoga and meditate when I was 20. And now I'm not 40 yet, but I'm almost 40. And I think for every year I'm doing yoga and meditating, I'm erasing a little bit of all the bullshit that I gathered through school and like the first 20 years of my. So
That
now I'm approaching Event Horizon. They are.
that is so cool. So tell me more about first let's talk about your music that you're going to launch. What's the theme of this EP? What has inspired you to come to this point to make this EP?
Mm. Well, definitely my healing journey with the plant medicine. That's when it all started for me with singing. Really, I was different while doing yoga, and then I came in connection with some friends from the Amazon doing their ayahuasca and peyote ceremonies from Mexico. And in all these ceremonies, singing and songs and music is so central, and that
Mm-hmm.
helped me to remember my own dream of making. And then I met the right friends on the way who helped me produce my first single. And yes, a kind of a very flowy fluctuation. I got really sick 2 years ago in a blood disease. I found out I had PTSD all my life. Lots of things happened. And that only made me even more determined to focus on the music, because when you're eventually maybe dying in some months in some unknown blood disease, it's like, yeah, then I really want to do music this last time I have on earth. And after that, I survived that, obviously. But I still feel like when you watch the outskirts of death, then you get more. I think you get more alive and you get more to the point what you really want to do with your life. So that was a blessing also, although it was. And then this album or this EP, it grew from a peyote ceremony 2.5 years ago, because after that ceremony, I started to write songs. Before that, I was always writing in Swedish, like Swedish songs, and they were like folk songs. But that's not the kind of music I listened to when I was a kid, but I listened to rock and pop all the time, like the Killers and Coldplay and some Swedish rock bands and indie rock. When I got my first piano, this was like, 2.5 something years ago. Then I started to touch the piano, and then it's like, bam, instantly there came like 2 songs that were in English, and they were like very rocky, poppy songs. And I was like, wow, this. I didn't know how to sing them because it's so new with singing at the time. I was just taking some singing lessons. And if you haven't used your voice for singing for the first 35, 34 years of it's usually not so good at singing. It takes a while to get the rust. And then it grew from there. It became this kind of animalistic pop rock journey. So now I think the working name of it is The Wolf and the Whale, because I have my white wolf, Nico, that you met, this white fluffy Samoyed.
Beautiful.
He's been with me for many years now. And there are some songs on the track and on the album inspired by certain animals, like this song about the whales that I released. And there's a song about the wolf. So, yeah. And now there's a song about the black sheep that I'm making right now. That's my current project. It's very...
Okay. So it's all very connected to nature.
Yeah, nature, the humor, and like the mystical part of life, and the gritty human civilization.
Yeah, while everything is burning away, we should remember to appreciate the little things.
Exactly.
I want to go back to, before we move further, I wanted to just ask you about the whole plant medicine journey that you've had. And with the kind of, it suddenly became very big. Like everybody is talking about it, all the CEOs and maybe corporate head honchos started to go to Amazon and, find a way to get introduced to plant medicine. So I wanted to ask you about your journey, and if you could help bust some myths about plant medicine that people have.
Yeah, I think there are plenty. I mean, my journey really started when I went to South America when I was 21. I was burned out from my physics degree. I was very lost in life. And I went there because my dad had been to the Amazon when he was in his 30s doing his PhD actually as a botanist, gathering medicinal plants in the, I think it's it should be the mid. At this point, I was completely unknown. He hardly heard about it. He was in the Amazon for a whole year, and he didn't try it or anything. He was really unknown. Then it was much later in the 90s that it really opened up. And then when I went to South America the first time, I just got invited to I've been Peru actually, in the Sacred Valley, by some girl I met, and I was going there, but she ended up giving me so I just didn't figure out the right way. And it was definitely not the time for me, but that made me hear about the word and like, oh, there's this wine in the Amazon. It's like, oh, very strange, dangerous psychedelic thing. I want to try it.
Yeah.
And then I had a lot of other, like, I would say mystical experiences on that journey where, I was starting to cry a lot out of nowhere. And I was really confused, and I was feeling this love of nature that I hadn't felt before, and many interesting things. But it would be, I think, almost 7 or 8 years later until I actually came to my first ceremony. I was trying to go there, and then I got sick, and I was like an invisible voice
God.
Configure it out for the right timing.
I guess it's also must be a thing about you must be invited to actually experience, or maybe you're at some stage in your life where you need to be to actually get to experience this incredible medicine.
I think so too. I mean, there's this like humorous comment that the plant is for everyone, but not everyone is. Like, it's open for everyone, but everybody is not for it. And
Correct.
everybody's not willing, and everybody's not suited for it either. It's like a special configuration in your nervous system that makes you, I think, suitable for these kind of journeys. I mean, some people can go super crazy. Some people just have a really bad journey all the time, and some people have an amazing journey, and some people start to study it like a profession. You know, they have doctors in the Amazon. They really call them the doctors, and they study it for 20, 30 years. We, I mean, to become, I have a friend who she's 80, doing her 80 now, so she's soon a full-fledged doctor. And it's like a 7 or 8 years university degree. It's like the longest thing you can. But in terms
Wow.
of in terms of plant medicine apprenticeship, it is nothing. You know, you study it when you're 5, and you study it
Yeah.
with your dad usually, but you could be your mom also in Shipibo, and you study it until you are. You don't start serving the medicine when you're 20. You know, you do it for 30, 40 years. It's we can't comprehend this kind of education. It doesn't exist in our system. So it's really a
Wow.
serious study.
That's insane. So tell me like one of your most incredible experiences with plant medicine.
Uh, it must it must be one of the first ones with the Yavanava tribe when I heard this voice of the medicine or from my soul or from that it just showed me this memory. It's like, oh, do you remember this? And when I was a kid, I was dreaming about singing and playing the guitar and learning to play piano, make my. And I was like, no, I had completely forgotten about that. And then
Oh
the
yeah.
voice was just like, well, this. And then I was super sad. I think I started to cry that away because it's like I forgot the most important part of my life. And I'm 30, whatever, 31 now. It's like, shit, I don't even have a CSN, like the government loan left to study it. Like, I can't
Yeah.
even study it. How am I going to learn it now? It's impossible. But it wasn't impossible. But it was a mixed, bittersweet sensation. Definitely one of my most memorable. Although I was also in that one with the Huni Queen people some years ago, and there was some ceremonies there that was also very beautiful. Doing it there, where we were part of chopping down the vine and cooking the brew together with them as they've been doing it for thousands of years in their village in the rainforest. And we got there on a canoe for like 2 days on this small.
Wow.
It was very beautiful. It's about, remembering the beauty of nature and friendship and tribe and family and doing something good life. I mean, that's the nature of the medicine. It just wants us to.
Wow, it's so amazing to hear. It's like my heart is kind of swelling up just listening to this because I think the world has kind of forgotten it. Like, of course, technology is supposed to bring us together and connect us but it's making us more and more isolated, don't you think? I mean, people have forgotten the way of the world and connection with other people. What are your thoughts about that?
I would say there are like maybe 3 different stages from my very brief understanding of human history. Is that the first stage of forgetfulness is when we became going from hunter gatherers into the first civilizations. That's when we started to isolate from the cycle of life, and people would gather power at the top of the pyramid, and we would have these Trump people, already 3,000 years before. In the hunter gatherer society, you can't have a Trump. You can't have someone who has a ton of power because, I mean, you can't carry around all of that.
Yeah,
You only live in
yeah.
the small tribe. And then the second part, I think, which is even the worst part, is the industrialization. Like even before you and me were born, like 120 years ago, that's when we really started to disconnect from nature and from our tribes. And people would move to the cities, would go to get a new life. Honestly, life was not so good in the just up here in Sweden. It was tough. There are reasons why people went to the city. It's not just like they
Yeah.
went there for bling bling, but they went there for survival and there to have a
Better
better
way,
life.
yeah.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
think that's what's driving the technological advancements. That and making more guns, sadly, and more refined weaponry. But now with the IT and the AI and everything, it's just wow. I don't know. Kind of
I mean, are you in your creative journey? Of course, these are new tools that have arrived that are making the helping human life to do maybe better, in a way. I mean, not better, but at least aiding us to do things that we think were mundane. So, are you getting some kind of help through these new tools as well in your creative process?
Yeah, I mean, I've been kind of out of the whole AI thing until like just this winter. I don't know when it hit me, but I was translating my book into English, and I'm not a super proficient English speaker. I'm not native in English. I haven't lived in a country. So to translate my fantasy sci-fi book from Swedish to English, I would feel it's kind of a big stretch, you know?
Yeah,
But when I did it together with an AI and then also me with my eyes and also a chain of other human eyes on it, I would say it's nice. Like it's very helpful. I would have to pay so much for someone to do it, but there's always this balance. When you get something very cheap, there's usually someone else who's paying for it. And I have a friend who was a translator 2, 3 years ago. She said the market for translators is like there are no new
hmm,
jobs in Sweden for English Swedish because the AI just got. And
yeah,
this is really interesting because in the industrial revolution was that there was many other revolutions at the same time on a society level, like the Russian revolution. And when we start to make machines that work, then what are all these people gonna do who work? That's always a
hmm,
question when we make it more efficient in society. So I'm really curious what's gonna happen now, like when we get self-driving trucks, we get self-creating artists, and what are people gonna do with their lives? I mean, we're still gonna have to do something and get our livelihood from somewhere, but it's gonna be interesting. And I found out
yeah,
also the AI is really good if you're gonna go repair your car yourself and you just want someone to ask for some advice. You can't trust the
yeah.
advice. You have to go through someone else also, like a human, right? And it's been helpful in the music. There's like I didn't download this Suno thing yet because I used to love to make music myself. If I didn't love to
Right.
play the piano or guitar, then I would do Suno. But I love to do it. It's so fun and learn and get better. But there is some mastering chain AI that you use like plug and play for the mastering. It basically just removes all the sub frequencies and make it really nice and needy. I think if I would have the time and not have learning all these instruments and doing the music and book all at the same time, then I would like to learn how to do the mastering myself with all these things. But now I don't have to do that right now. I can do it like in some months, but I can still release the songs.
That's so when does the music come out?
Well, I released one track Friday last week. That was my first self-produced ever song. So it's nice. It will not be my best song ever. I know this book that I'm writing, it's my third book that I'm producing, and it's my best book so far. And I think it's the same with your songs. But I'm going to
Okay.
plan to release at least one song every month now until autumn as singles, and hopefully even more frequently than that, because I have a whole album that I already played with my band, and it's like 14 songs that I want to produce. It just takes a while if you're learning how to produce yourself from scratch and play all the instruments or most of them. And
Wow.
grad-
So are you collaborating with artists from around Sweden?
yeah, well, right now I'm only collaborating mainly with my songwriter friend Peter down in Gothenburg. He's been like, we co-wrote many of the songs, and he's always the one that I'm asking things about. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? And then I have some other friends, one who's a former professional artist for many years. I have another friend who's a producer that I can send the mix to, and they will give different feedbacks. And then I have some other musicians that I have in my band. It's not an established band, but they whenever I have a gig they want to come and play with me, and they are like incredible musicians. So if I have the possibility to record them, include them in the songs, which would be amazing. And some songs I want to record with the whole band in autumn in Gothenburg, like rock songs. If you record them track by track, there is something lost. If you record them all of us playing together in the studio, in the
Hmm.
big band studio, then nothing is lost.
I
Oh,
understand.
that's a
Like the
difference. But
old school
yeah,
days.
for like the old school, like for some rock songs, I mean, you can never get if you do layer by layer in the studio, track by track by track, it will be close, but I don't think it ever will be the same energy like you feel you're really there. It's like,
So, one thing is, of course, one outcome of this is obviously to sustain a life and sustain a living, earn money. But what is your deeper purpose of putting this music, doing what you're doing at the moment?
it is, for me, it's a mystery. Man, I was recording the vocals yesterday to this. I just experience myself in a for every song I'm making, I'm hearing my voice in a new way, and I'm experiencing my reality in my new, like my physical senses are transforming for every song. It is the weirdest, wonkiest thing. And I've done many different weird, wonky plant medicine journeys. So it's like becoming a butterfly, going from the larva. I was in the cocoon many years when I was really sick, and now I'm in like the morphing phase. Now I'm
Transition, yeah.
morphing. Yeah,
Metamorphosis.
metamorphosis into the Prince of Elves. That's for me. I mean, I have no. If you start making music when you're 35, 36, I'm 37 now. It's like you can't really. You can have the ambitions to go around the world and be big, famous band, whatever, but it doesn't really make sense. It rarely makes sense to have that ambition anyway. I think that just happens. Like my friend sent me this snapshot of Michael Jackson when he's like 6 years old, and born with that. It's for me. It's just this is just what I want on in my life, and I finally found out about it. And it's definitely not. It's also
Yeah,
the
I
theme.
mean, what is the theme?
The theme of this current song, Black Sheep Brigade. We only have this young blood. One this
Mm.
it came up with in a talk with a friend of mine, the young blood. If you have the young blood, you know it. You're a teenager usually when you really have this feeling life, everything is possible, and you have so
Mm.
much energy, and you can do whatever. You can be out so late every night and just fuck everything, and nothing has any consequence. Then you just go for it. And when you have that, that is when you it, because it's gonna go away. You never know it. I told her that this is my time in life to do the music. I mean, I'm writing the book now, and I have tons of different other books that I wrote part manuscripts for, but I could do that the rest of my life. But these songs, I can't do them when I'm 70 or 80 or 90. I can still write books until dead, but I can't sing the Black Sheep Brigade in this unless I have the young blood. And thanks to me being single for many years, living a kind of a secluded life because of this PTSD illness and other things, and doing all the yoga, I still have plenty.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And I hope that you will keep continuing to do this incredible work that you're doing, also helping other folks discover the deeper sides of themselves. How is that journey been for you? Like, do you eventually also want to be someone who holds ceremonies, holds spaces for ceremonies, or you see yourself becoming an artist? What is your
That's a brilliant question. I get nostalgic about it because in the first year of plant medicine, like then I think everybody I met, they wanted to be a man. They all had this dream somehow. It's like, I think it's the Western mind. If you start doing something, you need to become the best at that. And the best at doing plant medicine is to be the shaman, but that's not really how reality works. Because I mean, shaman is a word for the Siberian people. Now it's used for even for people who don't have shamans. They have medicine men or women. So I will just use it now, but it doesn't make. But then the thing is, as I told you, these studies to become a medicine carrier in these traditions, they start when you're 5. I mean, all of us,
Mhm.
we they also
Yeah.
start with you being born, usually from the shaman as your father or mother or uncle, and they also start with them reading the signs of the stars and the dreams when you're born, knowing you are the next in line. It's not something
Mhm.
you choose when you're 20 or 30 because you want to have a profession and it seems cool, to do the feathers and the
Yeah.
smoke and to do the. It's like, I mean, you can still do it, and there are a lot of Westerners who do it, and for some it works great, and for some not so great because they don't have the surgical skill. Talk about the doctor metaphor. I mean, it's
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna do a
Yeah.
ceremony for people, and people used to want to have bling bling and cool colors, and you like puke a little bit and did the ayahuasca thing,
Yeah.
then I think it will work. But if people come and they have some serious illness, like they are dying for some reason, or they have some illness they carried through their legacy, it's the illness from the grandparents, generational, to remove them or to heal them is serious stuff. Like
Wow, it's very
I have friends one that are working with it, and I just recently learned like they talk about curses. It's this is a way of things, and some curses they are so dangerous that if you try to remove them on someone else, that's
whoa.
how dangerous this stuff is.
And
And
this is during a ceremony.
this is during a ceremony in any ritual, in any. So it's good that you know what you're doing. I decided after meeting a very, very interesting sage, I would say he is the only one of the very few, not the only, but one of the very few real shamans, real medicine carriers I ever met. And after meeting him, I felt after getting any idea I ever had of becoming something in this profession, it is. I am I am a larva. Whatever I was
Wow.
touching to, it is not up to me. Right now, I feel I'm morphing into the artistry. I'm finding so much of myself in thing, and like just like figuring out I can use these two wood blocks to make like the best percussion sound for my song, and these sort of things. That's where I'm growing a lot, and that's the voices are putting me in this.
Wow. That is
I think
so
this is
cool.
the same also, it's like if you look in a rock band, I mean, they are the modern shamans. They're putting 50,000 people in a trance. I mean, the drum is the drum. It's the percussion. It's the same drum that's been drumming for 10,000 years. We just have a little bit
Yeah.
more flair now.
Have have you seen the movie Sinners?
No.
Oh my God. Okay. I mean, apart from the fact that it's won the Oscars and acting and for screenplay, you have to see it for its music and how they have actually shown the beautiful. They have shown how the veil between the dark world and our world is burnt with when someone is so good that they let in spirits with their music and their singing, and you will it completely, I think you will understand what they're trying to say, because when I was watching it also, I kind of felt like I thought about you in a way that Albin should watch this because he'll know what they're trying to say through the movie.
Cool. I get really
Yeah, you should definitely see The Sinners, Albin. I think it's also going to make you look at your music even deeply.
nice.
Yeah, so check it out. You know, for all the work you're doing on the Kickstarter, what is the purpose of your Kickstarter? What do you want people to do?
So the Kickstarter is this crowdfunding campaign to help make it possible for people to pre-order the book before it's printed. And by this, there's two goals. One is the obvious goal that I will gather the fund necessary to do to pay the proofreaders
Great.
and to pay the printing company for the first batch, and to feel also there are people who want to buy it. And the second part is that people can find out about the book that never would have found out about it, and because I'm mainly reaching the people I know, and then I might reach people I don't know. So two.
Okay. So is there a link or something
Yeah,
that
yeah.
I
It's just
can share?
I can send you the link so you can put it here, and people can go there and choose. And there's like you can just get the ebook. That's the first easiest, cheapest thing, and it will be delivered sometime in July, August. Or you can get a hardcover copy. And the fun fact that I just discovered is that I pretty much anywhere in the world for around, I think it was 18 or 19 euro, which is quite a lot for a book, but it's quite cheap if you consider I can send it to New Zealand or Japan, or I can send two books there. So if someone in India wants to buy a book,
Okay, great. And once again, just to know more about the book and to talk more bit about the book, what is your book about and what's it gonna talk about mostly?
so I received this particular book idea 13 ago when I had a lucid dream, one of my first lucid dreams in an apartment in Gothenburg. And I woke up seeing these characters walk down the stairs. And then I just felt, this is the book I'm going to write. And I felt also, this, I'm going to be famous. This is the big for me. And then you realize things in life later on that that's not what's important. The joy is the important part. And then I wrote many different for many years, and they all sucked. They became too close to other things, too close to Harry Potter or Avatar or whatever I was influenced at the time, because my own journey, own unconscious hadn't gone so deep. It was still like at the collective conscious parts, I think, a lot. And then when I finished my book, the Drömsamlaren, this dream collector, the one that's inspired by Norse mythology, then I knew exactly how to write this book. And it's going to be in the underground mine, because I love mines, and the father of my grandmother was a miner, and I wrote her memoirs, so I know a little bit about his life. And all these crystalline life forms came forth. But basically, the book is taking place in a big world on another planet, and it has different nations, religions, different, flora and fauna, and it has these crystalline life forms that's very unique, and they are all like a silicium-based life form, and this is an element that doesn't exist on Earth, but it exists here, and it's a very precious metal, and everybody wants it, and yeah, we can know how it out. But it's mainly a character journey. It's not so much about the world, especially not in the first book, because it's in the mind. You just hear about this world and these exotic beings, dangerous things, magic and everything, and technologies. It's mainly about these others trying to just survive and escape the mine. They're not slaves per se. They can get out there, but you have to pay a lot to take the elevator back up to the surface. And then you're in a wasteland. So it's not like you go there and then it's good. You have to get far away. You have to get the money to buy a little farm and grow the vegetables. So that's the older brother. His dream is to take his younger there one day, and he's just working his ass off in the mine. And they're not really getting anywhere. And suddenly this fugitive from the desert, this very mystical girl, is shimmering tattoos all over her body. She's coming to the mine, and it's quite rare that they have women in the mine. And it's even more rare that they have Edarian women, and they are like a special kind of people who live in the desert that are subject to a lot of they have some special stuff going on with these shimmering tattoos. They're more than and then everything is going so much better suddenly, because they can get this super advanced riddle and get more crystals and mine more. But the thing with the mine is that the mine gives and the mine takes. So for everything that is going better and better, there is something that is pulled away, and they get deeper into
Oh my God. Wow, this sounds, I'm hooked.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, Albin, don't stop. This is so exciting. Wow, incredible. What a beautiful chat. I think there's so much to look forward to, Albin, with the music, with your art, with your book. I really hope and wish the best for you. And of course, your journey will continue on to way more beautiful things. But I'm glad we could kind of catch up on and have like a road marker in one phase of your life. I'm pretty sure we'll speak. Yeah, amazing.
Very, very amazing. And I get this memory like the first time I met you at Moderskeppet. We were playing music in this. I was hosting this little cacao ceremony inauguration of that. That was before I got this. Don't do the serve. And it was like, I think one of my first time I played music with other musicians in front of people. I felt very, and I also felt this kinship with you, because that was before I went to India for the first time, but I already did my yoga like for 10 years or something. So this connection to this mystical India, and the big country, or the origin of civilization in some ways. And, very happy to follow you and Mila also on your journey.
Man, incredible. Absolutely. I was just thinking about that also. Like, it was my first cacao ceremony here in Sweden, and it was with you. and it was in that beautiful setup in the forest. It was unbelievable. Like how grounding that whole experience was. And of course, there was no intoxicant involved, it was just a cacao and all of us humans together in a forest. Unbelievable. So thank you for that. All right, on that note, I'm gonna say best of luck and hope to catch you soon when you're in Stockholm next.
Definitely.